ASEAN Dailies. First and the foremost news from Southeast Asia.
Hey, this is Arlene.
Hi, this is Grace.
And you're listening to our trends in Southeast Asia on our ASEAN Daily.
That's right. And our first news of today is about Singapore. They are doing something very interesting regarding this anime called Pokemon.
It's called Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what it is, but it's a trend that is really hype out right now. Like everyone is talking about,
Yeah.
but I literally have no clue about it.
Well, there are so many characters in the Pokemon, and the Pokemon Go, it went really madly viral on the internet, and there are so many wannabe trainers in Singapore that have been left high and dry since the app hasn't been released yet. So what is this app about?
Well, I think it's a game. The trending Nintendo game was released several days ago in majority of the countries, including the US and Australia. But neither the Apple App Store nor Google Play has it yet. So this one person, an Australian that is working in Singapore,
Right.
his name is Sonny Truyen. He was so incensed that he couldn't go out to catch a Pokemon that he let rip a few, words that is really had somehow spur a Twitter rant on Facebook and somehow get the best of his job because he was fired later.
That's right. Well, he publicly mentioned his complaint about Singapore regarding this game, and there's so many discussion were happening on social media, and of course they went viral, and they ended up firing him from his job. And from there, more discussions were happening after all, and after that, eventually the CEO of the company expressed an apology on the company's blog as well as a hardware zone regarding this case.
Yeah. Well, what he said was, you can't catching Pokemon in this piece of as a country. I can only say the first letter of those words. But the thing is, when you live in Singapore as an expat, you enjoy the most perks, even beyond living as a Singaporean. But a lot of the expats think that just because they live there, they get all the benefits. They can just simply rant about it.
That's right.
Which, this is one of the cases where you can say that just because you have all the luxury to live an expat, you cannot just simply say things about a country and mock about it.
That's true. And with all this fast speed of internet and all this accessibility online, you say something and then it becomes very viral just overnight. So everyone will just simply read your comments and the discussions. It is really just a second that you can get fired from your own company.
Yeah, he really insulted
Yeah, he
the
did.
people in Singapore. He said that when a one Singaporean tell him that you can get out of the country because he said that Singaporeans is full of stupid people like you, and he replied that so that average people with average IQ can feel adequate. But then this Singaporean person revert back saying that, where are you from again? You are here because your own country failed you. Please leave. We don't need rude people here. But this this Facebook rant is actually has a bigger and deeper meaning to it. Singapore has a huge and growing immigrant population, and because of that, a lot of the Singaporeans are not really happy the fact that they need to share the wealth and resources with these expats and immigrants. And for the immigrants, they feel that just because they can work there and get all the benefit, they can simply say whatever they want. But they fail to realize Singapore is not a free country. It's still an authoritarian country.
That's right. So, in addition to that, there were a lot of comments towards the company itself as well, such as, so this is the kind of talent that we are supporting, someone who humiliates and insults the country who gave him a job, shameful. Such comments will definitely lead to impact and affect the company after all.
Anyway, that's all for our first segment. We will continue again with another news on trends. Hey, welcome back. This is Arlene.
This is Grace.
And you're still with us on trends in Southeast Asia.
Guess who's coming to Southeast Asia?
Not the Americans?
Not anymore. I mean, there are a few, but majority is attacking Southeast Asia.
That's true. But you would never guess. It's actually the Russians that are coming to Southeast Asia. Majority of the time, we always think about China, India, the US, and even Europe. But no one actually would think about that. Vladimir Putin is actually looking at resurrecting military and energy ties with Southeast Asia.
That's right. So the country, Russia, is rebuilding its profile across Southeast Asia with the new diplomacy, naval exercises, and deals in arms and energy, like you mentioned. And so basically, they try to diversify its trading partners and renew its sway in the Pacific.
And this is a report by the Wall Street Journal. And one of the thing that it reported was Russian President Vladimir Putin in May signal the new trust by hosting the first ever summit. I think everyone remembered the Southeast Asian summit in Russia, where it set up the stage for new business and trade deals. And according to Matthew Sussex, a Russian specialist at the Australian National University, you are starting to see not just trade deals, but also military security participation and presence, and the multilateral engagement too. What you are seeing right now is evident that Russia is serious about this region.
Yeah, that's right. And the country itself is seeing it at the combined $2.6 trillion economic and this dire energy that needs to rising military budget. So those are the prime market for Russia's top exports, which are hydrocarbons, energy technology, and weapons.
You'll be surprised that Russia would not just be investing in the economic side of Southeast Asia, but maybe the issue of South China Sea would be the interest of Russia too. So according to a senior fellow at the ISIS Yusof Ishak Institute in Singapore, that now Russia is resurrecting military ties in Southeast Asia and the broader region, and is pushing a bit harder these days because of the economic crisis that is faced in Moscow.
That's right. But on the other side, the country, Russia, satisfied much of that pretty new demand. In the 5-year period through 2015, Russian arms sales to Southeast Asia is more than doubled to nearly $5 billion from the preceding 5-year period. And at the same time, in the same time frame, the region accounted for about 15% of all Russian arms exports, up to 6%.
But unfortunately, newcomer Russia needs a lot to work on with its ties in Southeast Asia, because it's still very much new to this region, and a lot of things in Southeast Asia is still haven't mastered yet. So maybe Russia can learn from China and the US on how to master Southeast Asia region.
Sure.
We will take a short break, and when we return, we'll discuss another news on trends in Southeast Asia. Welcome back. This is Arlene.
This is Grace.
And you're still with us. So, when it comes to work, usually we imagine people doing work or holding jobs in Southeast Asia. But according to the International Labour Organization, what we are seeing right now is slowly but surely robots are taking over millions of jobs in Southeast Asia.
So is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because by replacing human with robots, I mean, in terms of work efficiency, on a positive note, it'll be better. But on the negative note, I mean, will people lose a lot of jobs in this region?
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask businesses, of course, having more efficient robots to work on production work is definitely better for their pockets. But if you ask workers, that means they will have nowhere else to make money.
That's right. So we talk about this massive job displacement. It's not really imminent. The technology to replace mainly lower skill jobs in ASEAN will increasingly be adopted as its cost declines and innovations become accessible to even small size enterprise, and that's according to ILO.
And it's estimated about 56% of all salaried employment in Cambodia, Indonesia, the Philippines, Thailand, and Vietnam is at risk of displacement due to technology in the next couple of decades.
That's right. And also, according to the report, they surveyed more than 4,000 companies and 330 shareholders in the bloc. They sort of warned that although this massive scale job displacement is not imminent, the impact will be felt hardest on labor-intensive sectors such as textiles, clothing, and footwear because of the generally low-skill nature.
That's true. And majority of them working in those areas are women. So women will be the biggest victim of robots.
That's right.
And another thing that is sadly will happen is the increase in the gap between the rich and the poor. When I talk about the rich and the poor, is also between the rural and the urban areas.
That's right.
As more jobs that are mechanical, which are populated by those who are uneducated, who live in the rural areas, they are unable to get better jobs because it will be replaced by robots.
Yeah. So what ILO they have been recommended was that the member states promote resources to provide science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's called STEM, STEM, qualification for young people, and also with priority for women.
I guess in the future, there are no more jobs that involve mechanical work. Majority of the jobs will be about thinking and creative work, I suppose.
Yep, and then all those hard works will be done by robots, I guess.
Unfortunately.
That's all from our ASEAN Daily today. Thank you for tuning into 3 ASEAN. For more updates on Southeast Asia, please go to our website at 3ASEAN.com. If you're on the go, you can always download our TuneIn app on your mobile. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels at 3 ASEAN and 3 ASEAN TV. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram.